Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Rainswept. Here we are, the famous Pineview Market. I'm kidding, not much to see here really. Let's see if we can talk to some of the locals here. Alright, it isn't very busy at this time of day, but there should be a few people out here. If you get tired and feel like heading to the hotel, let me know. We can come back here and talk to them another day. What are you doing now? Cat's crawling all over me again. Where was I? So I can look at this. Fiction or non-fiction? Fiction. Me too! Oh, we have so much in common, you and me, Blunt. "4 p.m. That's an interesting town clock. Ooh, a tree. Let's check out this tree. Oh, okay, I'm looking at the sign. I thought I was like, that's a very notable tree. Let me look at that tree. Cherry pie. And now you're definitely channeling Twin Peaks. You should come here for breakfast someday. The owner, Mark, is a pretty great guy. You mean me? Oh, hi, Mark. Let's stare at you first. If I can hit the right button. There we go. That must be Mark. I sure am. Apparently I look with my words, and I said that out loud when I thought I was looking at him. Hey, detective, have a seat. Do you want some tea, coffee? My cafe's extremely cozy and warm. No, that's alright, Come over here if you want a pint. All these small business owners are like standing outside drumming up business. Please, please come to my establishment. Keep your unhealthy habits to yourself, Ellen. Too much coffee is unhealthy too. You shut your mouth. I've already had about 4 coffees today. Also, if you haven't noticed, he's already smoking a cigarette. Ignore him, he just likes to annoy me. And yet I let it get to me. Who is that? That's Alan, owner of the bar next door, and my brother. Very small town. Twin brother. Not that you'd know by the way we lead our lives. I don't know how we ended up as polar opposites. I know, I got all the good stuff. Shoo, go away! How long have you lived in Pineview? Mark. I was born here. My family lived here for many years before that. We left for the city when I was about 10. My dad was looking for better work. I returned soon as I graduated about 9 years back. I prefer the life here. Big cities just aren't for me. Now it's just me, my books, and my coffee shop. Life is simple and I love it. Did Alan also come with you at the same time? No, Alan, he only joined me here 5 years back. He had a bit of trouble in his old life and wanted a fresh start. Maybe he can tell you more about that. Maybe he can. You know who else who came here from another life? Chris and Diane. Yeah, tell me about Chris and Diane. Did you see them often? No, barely. A handful of times, maybe. They came into the cafe a few times, but that was in the early days when they first moved in. They wouldn't say much to me or anyone else here, and mostly kept to themselves. Or I could say they didn't have eyes for anyone else. To put it bluntly, they looked very much in love. Oh, really? Everyone else seems to say the opposite. What can you tell me about them? Anything that stands out. Well, I kind of identified with Chris in a way. It sounds like he moved here for the peace of mind this place provides and to start a small business for himself. What business? He'd been trying to get a hotel project off the ground here, from what I can hear. He had trouble getting the project approved. Maybe Father Smith can tell us more about it. He's involved in the planning committee. Do you live alone? No, I'm married, have been for about 6 years now. Met my wife in my own cafe, actually. Oh, it's a cute story. We were very happy with you, Mark. For you, Mark. Does Alan also live with you? No, but he lives close by. Well, this is a small town, isn't everyone close by? Was he in last night? Yes, I think so. I didn't check or meet him, though. Where were you last night? As always, I closed my place by 8 p.m. I bought some supplies from the general store down the street and then went home. I assume that the storekeeper will remember that? Yes, Mrs. Brown was in last night at the time. She should be able to confirm what I just said. And Alan, could he confirm this? He didn't come to work yesterday, took a day off. Suspicious. Said he was feeling unwell, so he stayed at home all day. Looks like that's past, luckily. He looks fine today. Anyway, I went back home after that, changed, and went for a jog as usual. Came back, took a nice long warm bath, made myself a cup of coffee, and had my dinner. Then I read a book for an hour or so, and was probably asleep by 10:30 p.m. A pleasant, ordinary evening. You seem to remember that very well. I don't think I could recite everything that I did in an evening the way he just did, but... notice anything unusual? Oh, whoops. I'm having trouble telling which means selected and which means... Yeah, anyway. Have you noticed anything unusual lately? Anything out of the ordinary? No, I can't say I have. Everything's been pretty much the same as usual. I guess we're done here. We'll talk later. See you around, detective. Now, you, my good sir. What's up, detective? Hi, Alan. Officer Blunt. Tell me about yourself. How long you've been here, that sort of thing. Sure, if you've talked to my brother Mark already, you probably know I moved here 5 years ago. My wife left me and I wanted to get away from it all. Thought I'd come here again after all these years and give this place another shot. Turns out it's just as bloody boring as it was when I was 10. But hey, it got me out of a place I'd begun to hate even more, so it's an improvement, you know. And you get used to the place eventually. Or you get used to the pace eventually. Mark did me a big favour, giving me half of his cafe to start a business in. Guess he's not too pleased with the business I chose to run, though. He's a good guy. So where were you last night? As I'm sure Mark must have already told you, I was at home. I wasn't feeling well, so I stayed home instead. Is there anyone that can confirm this? Apart from Mark, I don't know. Since I didn't leave home, no one saw me, you know. Did you know Chris and Diane? No, not at all. I'm the kind of person who minds his own business. I don't go interfering with people's affairs and their lives. What do you mean by that? I just don't go wasting my time getting to know people if there's no need for it. To me, it looked like they preferred to mind their own business as well. So no, I didn't know them at all. Alright. Okay, Mr. Allen. We'll talk later if the need arises. Okay. Hello. Mr. Frenchy man. That's Grandpa, owner of Grandpa's Bakery. Is he your grandfather? Oh, no, he isn't. Is his name Grandpa, then? I don't really know, actually. Okay, then. You don't get this small town thing, do you? Hello, Grandpa. I'm not your Grandpa. And your name is? Grandpa. Mr. Grandpa, I was wondering if I could ask you a few questions. And I was wondering if I could ask Miss Brown there out on a date. But wondering isn't doing, is it? Just look at her. Oh boy, she makes me feel 40 years younger, she does. If you say so. Humph, do you ever plan to grow up, Grandpa? Any more growing up and I might just die. And I ain't planning on doing that before I ask you out. Goodness, unbelievable behaviour, such immaturity at this age. She likes me, I know she does. You're deluded. Woohoo! Anyway, you had questions, young man. Well, I thought I did. How long have you lived in Pineview? Forever. My family's been here for generations. I'm the last in the line now. My shop's been here for generations too. My shop's been here from generations? My shop's been here for generations, I think that should say. You know, and I've taken real good care of it. Oh, and she's taken real good care of me too. Where were you last night? Where do you think I was? Sleeping? That's right. Where else do you expect an old man to be at that time of night? Can anyone confirm this? No, no one can. I live alone. About Chris and Diane, what can you tell me? When they first moved in, Chris would often come in the evenings and buy things from me. He'd come in daily almost. Looked pretty cheerful too. Then a couple of months after that, he just stopped coming. The last few times he came, I could see that something wasn't right. Maybe trouble with his missus, I don't know. He and Diane went to church maybe a handful of times. Once or twice they came over here after for coffee and donuts. They were quite a couple, I tell you. He was the quiet and nonchalant one, she an exciting, electrifying energy. A classic case of opposites attracted to each other. If what people say is true, I don't know how things went so wrong so fast. But then, with these things, you can never say. This was all about 4 to 5 months back. After that, I hardly saw them out here again. What more can we ask? Have you noticed anything unusual lately? Anything out of the ordinary? Now that I think about it, I might have. Mrs. Brown's been tying her hair in a much tighter bun lately. I wonder what that means. Is she softening up and trying to hide that fact? Oh, Grandpa, you notice these things. I mean it when I say it, beautiful. I'm a passionate lover. Very passionate. Damn it, Grandpa. Hello. I was talking about the possible murders. Did you notice anything unusual leading up to that? Oh, no, much the same. Can't say I did. He's already said he lives by himself. Are we the senile ones? Yes, I do. Kids left Pineview for the big city. Too boring here, they say. It's been many years since the wife died. So I run this shop here by myself, and I live down the street pretty close by. But that's alright, I've got friends here to keep me company. Officer Blunt pays me a visit every day, for instance. It's always a pleasure to meet you, Grandpa. Also, there's Mrs. Brown. Miss Brown. She makes every day exciting. Please, God, give me strength. Oh, look how she flirts. I'm definitely ready to stop talking to this guy. Let's take a look at this suspicious fire hydrant. No, we're looking at the donuts. Oh my god. I always think it's completely the wrong thing. The donuts look good. They're the best in Pineview, best damn donuts made with Grandpa's love and warmth. No, thank you. You've turned me off donuts. Hello. That's Miss Brown. Yes, we know. We just listened to Grandpa harassing her for 5 minutes. Who is it? Ah, you're that detective, aren't you? Come to ask about the murders? Something troubles you, boy. What is it? What do you mean? I know a troubled soul when I see one, detective. But I understand you don't have time for such questions. That is good, neither do I. Now, what is it? How long have you lived here? I was born here. I've barely stepped outside Pineview in all my life. I started this shop when I was 25 to support myself once I lost my husband. Do you have family here? Johnny's the only family I've got. He is my grandson. Lost my husband in the war. I was about 25. You must have seen Johnny, right? Always running around, taking photos with his camera. Can't say I have seen him yet. His parents left him in a tough situation by making some stupid decisions in their lives, so I take care of him now. He's a good boy, spends his time helping his grandma around the shop. I'm getting older now, too. Willpower and mental strength can only get you so far, you know. Time catches up with you eventually. Not that I lack any mental strength. I've single-handedly taken care of a lot here. You really have, Miss Brown. I really look up to you. You're doing well, young lady. You're doing quite well for yourself. Where were you last night? Johnny's the only family I've got. He's my... Oh. I've clicked the wrong thing. Where were you last night? I went to bed around 9 PM. Johnny could probably confirm that. He was home too. What can you tell me about Chris and Diane? Are those two doomed from the start? Why do you say that? I told you I know a troubled soul when I see one, and those two, I've seen it so many times over the years, one can always tell. Others will tell you they were very much in love, but something wasn't right. I always felt that. And then when things really did start going wrong, everyone heard about it. We'll talk later. Okay, detective, you take care of yourself. Anything else we can look at? Ooh. Is this a dramatic close to the demo, or... Oh, are we walking all the way over to the... We're walking up to a church. Oh, okay, we need to talk to the father. They mentioned him. Here he is, waddling along. Isn't this beautiful? You have a beautiful church here, Father. Hello. That must be Father Smith. Father Smith? Hello, Detective Anderson. Detective Anderson. Yes, only just arrived. I wanted... That is good, that is good. And what do you think of it? Do you like it here? It's peaceful? I'll admit that. It is, isn't it? You must enjoy your time here. The change of pace must feel good coming from the city. But then, you must want to preserve this peace too, yes? Leave here without taking anything away from us? There is a way of life here, and I do my best to maintain that for the good of my people. You are speaking so cryptically. I have no idea what you're on about. The ones that are here are on more than just a merry whim. I see. Anyway, Detective, you had questions. About Chris and Diane. Did you know them well? Not too well. They came to church a couple of times after they'd moved to Pineview, but then soon stopped coming at all. They withdrew themselves from the rest of the community, and I can't say that helped them. Friends can help in difficult times, and it's obvious they were beginning to have really difficult times by the end. If they'd continued to come to church, I could have offered some guidance. Sometimes relationships can entangle you. Move it, cat. What? But unfortunately, it had to come to this. Whatever their troubles, it looked like they made each other suffer for it. I'm sure you'll learn what most of us here already knew. In any case, I wish you luck with your investigation. Where were you last night, Father Smith? I was here all night. I finished up some work and I went to bed by 10 PM, I'd say. I heard Chris was trying to start a hotel project here. As you're part of Pineview's planning committee, can you tell me what that was about exactly? Sure, Chris wanted to open a hotel here with about 20 rooms or so. He said he wanted to keep it small in accordance with our bylaws, but even 20 was almost pushing it. These things always grow out of hand. Once the tourists started coming in, they'd see how untouched a place Pineview really is. Demand would increase, and of course, Chris wouldn't want to pass up the opportunity to cash in on that. Regardless, we never got to that point. Chris always kept messing up his papers whenever he came in for approval. He'd either misplace them or mess up some of the details. I guess the delays cost him money too. It was all going downhill fast, and well, this happened. Okay, we'll talk later. I'm sure we will. Okay, well, thanks so much for watching, everyone. It looks like there's still more to this demo, so I'll be back with another part really soon. Thanks again. Bye.